Question is about the movie analogy that the experience of life can be like a movie. And so let's look at that a little bit. It's a beautiful analogy because there's so many things that become clear if we look closely at this analogy. From higher states of consciousness, when we look at this life, we can actually internally perceive it as if it's a movie playing on a screen. So you can actually have that inner experience that this is a really good movie playing. It's all around you. The screen is not very obvious, but it's very much a movie. One of the interesting things, if you look at from a very big picture perspective, where you take birth, you have a series of life experiences, and then one fine day you drop dead and you disappear. Now, if you look at it as, why in the world do we have this series of experiences only to just disappear? What is the meaning of life if we try to look at it that way? And why in the world do we have experiences that are so challenging? That challenges with health, challenges with relationships. Why is this life so difficult? The movie analogy shows, it throws a lot of light into this. Firstly, if you notice how a movie plays on a screen, you show up for a movie, you get engrossed in the storyline to the point where you're really drawn in and you believe something's happening. And at the end of the movie, you realize, oh, it was a great movie. I got really drawn into it. And then you're done with it. You are still intact. So even if there were a lot of explosions and crazy things happening, you yourself are 100% intact. So you get the experience of enjoying something without hurting yourself. And this, from the essence perspective, is how life, this physical life, can be looked at. So from the essence perspective, we show up here, all kinds of crazy things happen, but our essence is never hurt, it's never touched, it's never compromised. Just like at the end of the movie, we walk away, we're completely fine. At the end of this life, our essence is pristine, it's perfect, and it just says, oh, what a great movie. That was awesome, right? In spite of all the twists and turns, we feel the essence perspective is that was great. So that's one significant stepping back perspective we get from the movie analogy. The second thing is, as the movie is playing, there are a lot of clues that this is a movie. First of all, if you pay attention to the movie, you will notice there's a screen on which is being projected. And this screen in the movie theater, there's also a screen on which the life is playing. And if you're able to really settle in inside, you can see that screen. So when you see the screen, you instantly have this big aha, that wait a minute, this is a movie because I can see the edges of the screen. The content of the screen is no longer has the same meaning. So the screen helps us get that perspective. So in a movie theater, you have a couple of things you can do. You can notice the screen. You can also start noticing that there's a beam of light from somewhere in the back where the projector is that you can trace that is projecting onto the screen. Well, in our own life, there is a similar beam of light that is causing this to appear. And that beam of light is visible, so you can get in touch with that beam of light rather than what is being projected on the screen. And how do you get in touch with that light? By going within and using your inner faculties, including your third eye, which is designed to perceive this light. So the third eye is our inner faculty for seeing the beam and tracing the beam back to the source. And the closer you get to the light and the source of the light, the more the storyline is no longer terribly relevant. There's something going on, but the real fascinating thing is the light. And so the movie analogy is great because it tells us, look to the light. If you want the truth of what's going on, the light will tell you the truth. And everything else on the screen is just an image. In fact, everything in our life is simply an image. The image is of such high quality that we are unable to discern that it's simply an image. But in the vast screen of inner consciousness, all of these things are simply images. And everything playing out is simply a series of images strung together by some storyline. So for somebody who's on the journey to discovering truth, disengage from the movie, i.e. the storyline of your life. Notice the screen, notice the light, trace the light back to the source, and feel the expansion of consciousness, because now you're suddenly no longer identifying either as a character in the movie or even a spectator who's caught up in it, but instead you're the light. You are, in fact, the infinity from which the light emanates. When you choose light, life becomes increasingly joyful, purposeful, and inspired. I invite you to join me to explore the realms of light, the infinite possibilities that light offers.